going to be a short video, just clearing my head. It's been a long day, an emotional day, and a busy day with the news that broke and the story we had to report tonight. And I'll get back to the regular program in a couple days. Don't worry, the idiocy is going nowhere. I promise. I'm not going to pretend to be the greatest Van Halen super fan that ever lived. I was a fan. I was a huge fan. I and most of us were, I think, back then, if you liked rock at all. I wore out cassettes of Van Halen 1 and Van Halen 2 on my 6-hour treks to college and back. And I think one of those cassettes wound up inside the cassette player, unwound, unspooled, and wrapped around a capstan. Eddie could do things with a guitar that no one else could do, and as many of those songs that we tried to pick up as kids, I don't think any one of us, outside of trying to learn how to tap, I don't think any one of us even bothered to try to play something like Eruption. I mean, we were playing Stairway and we were playing Skinnerd and whatever else. I don't think we even bothered with the virtuosity that came out of Eddie's fingers. I love those early records. I really did. And Eruption was a technical marvel. But as much as that was a showcase for his virtuosity, I loved his songwriting. I liked the melodic stuff. Janie's Crying and Dance the Night Away, and the stuff that had feel to it, because he would take that virtuosity and harness it into something that made you feel something. And that to me was valuable. And I always gravitated towards those songs. He'd throw in a bridge or a lick of something that was so delicate in the midst of all the fury and thunder that it would just ground the song. And few composers understand that, people who write music. And he understood how dynamics could make a loud part of a song sound so much louder if it was just accompanied with something quiet in between those loud sections. The change would make that greatness, that burst of energy, huge by comparison than if you just played the whole thing loud. And while 1984 was kind of the swan song and the last stop for pure Van Halen fans, I saw the change to Sammy Hagar as something exciting. I saw his musicianship take a new turn. He was almost challenged by having another great guitar player in the band. And I think there was a renewed sense of seriousness taken toward the music. And as much as I loved the fury of those first three records, I think I liked OU812, which was probably their least popular album, arguably, more than any of the others, because it was a musical album. It was an album that had nuance, and I saw they showed a side of their musicianship that I don't think came out in some of the other records. It was an album made with I think craft and care. I really enjoyed it. Eddie reinvented his sound every couple of years, and he did on that OU812. I think they used a National guitar and did some different things. Every couple of years he sounded a little bit different, but he never stopped sounding like Eddie, and that's something few guitarists could ever do. I mean, let alone change their sound. Most guitarists sound the exact same throughout their career. They might change style or approach, but their fundamental sound doesn't change much. And Eddie, if you listen to For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge and try to compare that to Diver Down, it's like they're just different. They're totally different styles. But it still sounds like Eddie. like you were unmistakable. You were listening to Eddie Van Halen, and how he did that, it's just the magic of his genius, you know. There have been other great guitarists, there's no question, and maybe a few better, you could argue one way or the other. Nobody pushed the boundaries of the instrument the way that Eddie did. I think Hendrix might have, had he lived, because he only had, you know, Hendrix is only around for about 3 or 4 years, like as a recording musician. So he never got a chance to really have that long career, and maybe he would have taken the guitar in some very different, strange directions. He was capable of it, for sure. But we'll never know. But that's the measure of a craftsman. It's somebody who can innovate, and without Eddie, I think the guitar would sound very, very different than what we're used to hearing. I think guys like Yngwie and Randy Rhoads and Slash and Joe Satriani, all those hair metal bands, even Prince and Steve Vai, those guys, I have no doubt that the guys would be just as famous. You know, it's not like they wouldn't have existed had Eddie Van Halen not, but I think they would have sounded a lot different. And that's a testament to the influence that Eddie had on an entire generation of guitarists. I saw Van Halen in 1986 on April 26th. They played the SIU Arena. Go Fightin' Salukis. It's late. I'm tired. On the 5150 tour. The rumor, the folklore of the time was that the band had to call the structural engineer of the SIU Arena, which is tiny small arena, basketball arena, and check to see if their lighting truss would be adequately supported by the structure of the arena, if it would cave in. I don't know if that was true or not, but it made for great discussion over beers. And I remember it. What I do remember is that the show was spectacular. I don't know if I'd seen a better show than that 5150 concert back in 86. And as much, I mean, my ears rang for 3 days after that concert. It was so loud to put all of that amplification in a tiny arena like that. It really rang for 3 days. I mean, I have tinnitus now, but nothing like that. Was 3 days of just what, you know, and all my buddies are all walking around. What? I didn't care. It was frickin' Van Halen, you know. He was such a great player. And he had Sammy with him on that tour. And as great a player as Sammy Hagar was, and he still is a great guitar player, he could never match the virtuosity of what Eddie was doing up there. Eddie was the original. That's what I got.